outside. I got a pencil full of lead and some water for my throat. I got buttons for my coat and sails on my boat. So much more than I needed before. I got money in the meter and a turbo heater. Oh, and now it's getting on the road, so they get sweeter. I got legs on my chairs and a head full of hair. Bought it up on and some shoes on my feet. I got a shelf full of books and most of my teeth. A few pairs of socks and the doors unlocked. I got food in my belly and a license for my telly. And nothing's gonna bring me down.
It's a huge adjustment for you too. You know, yes, it's an adjustment for women, but it's a massive adjustment to you too, to your lifestyle, to how you live. It's a responsibility, so it affects you in the same ways, and we tend to focus on the mothers, but absolutely the fathers are just as important, and just as important for you to understand everything they're going through, and how you can help them, and how you can help yourself. And one of the things I always say is keeping yourself healthy, you know, is the greatest gift you can give them. And earlier we were talking to in about neurological development, the importance of crawling, how to encourage each stage. And we'll be talking to Aisling in a minute about numeracy and literacy and all of these things, but tying in from a holistic approach and even tying it into the mental health. The greatest gift you can give your child is self-esteem and confidence, and the gift of communication. And all the studies being done in Ireland at the moment are coming back to the same thing of, we are great at talking about nonsense. If you ever notice when we start to talk about real feelings, we tend to shut down. It's an uncomfortable thing. And you know, a lot of families in Ireland, it's about breaking the cycle. And if you haven't been given the tools to explain or communicate how you feel, how can you pass that to him? You know, you can't. And I know that it's only from 4 days a week of counselling and going right back to why I made decisions that I did, and I suppose, you know, had to go through what I've gone through the last 2 years. I now understand why, and I want to do everything in my power to make sure that James doesn't end up not being able to help himself. And one of the doctors and specialists I was working with I was saying, but how do you do that? Like, how do I do that with James? He said, it's really very simple. Talk to them. Talk to them from the minute they're born. And I was saying, my friend Pearl, which is how I met Aisling, was saying to me, her child Lily is fantastic and she talks to her all the time. And I'm like, how do you do that? She goes, I explain everything to her. So if I'm, you know, from when she was a couple of months old, so if she's in the kitchen and the baby was in the high chair, she says, oh, Mummy's cooking the dinner and I have this blue thing here now, I'm reading. And I remember the first time I did it with James, I was on my own in the house and I felt so stupid. I was like, now Mummy's doing this and she's doing it, like, thank God no one's here to see me because this is mortifying. But I kept at it, and that was me breaking through my uncomfortable zone. I wasn't used to communicating and doing it myself. So it's about, and for me going through counselling was, I had to push myself through. I came out some weeks going, ha, that was a load of nonsense and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and in rage driving home. And I went back week after week after week, but all that was me pushing through something I didn't want to. Yeah, I mean, he was touching raw nerves, and he was bringing up stuff that has been buried for 15 years, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this feeling. And I remember after about 8 months of solid counselling, I woke up one morning and I felt like, I can't really explain it, I just felt like that something that had been sitting on me for years had lifted, and it was the most amazing feeling. Now, that's one day where that happened. I have to constantly work on that. And every day it's like, if I'm not feeling good, I have to exercise, or I have to make sure I'm eating well or getting enough sleep. So, but as I was saying before, and I was talking on TV about this during the week, staying well is hard work, but it's a lot easier than getting sick again and trying to pull yourself back. And that's one thing that we are never going to overcome mental health in Ireland until we start understanding where it stems from. And medicating and suppressing it or numbing it is not the way to do it. Yes, a lot of people need medication, but unless you deal with the core of where the problem is coming from, you can't help yourself, because the problem is still there, you're just kind of masking it. And so it's really important that we do communicate, and you know, asking your kids, even using music, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel happy or sad? Is that fast or slow? And what you're doing is you're getting them to understand what feelings are, and you're getting them to communicate how they feel, why they feel like that, you know. And so when they're in their teenage years, You've given them the tools to be able to communicate their feelings. Those years are difficult enough. So if you're able to give them the tools now to make those years a little bit easier, you know, they're still going to be tough. You know, you're giving them a great gift going forward, and that's going to be one of the biggest battles about mental health in this country, is information about how you help yourself. And things like omega-3s or exercise. And when I say exercise, like, I hate jogging, I hate going to the gym. I do reformer Pilates now. For me, that's what works. It incorporates breathing, it incorporates, you know, moving. And for me, it's a mental health thing. You know, I feel very calm when I come out of there. I meditate. And then we go again when someone said to me to meditate, I thought, an hour and a half a day. I mean, I do it for 10 minutes, right? Every other day. That's not a lot. And I use guided meditation with earphones, so it helps me focus, because I can't focus, because I'm always a million things going on in my head. But like that, it's about finding what works for you, and it's about trying and testing, you know? Okay, that works for me, that doesn't work for me. Yes, this worked. And kind of just figuring it out. But I'm a great believer in information, because it empowers you to make your own choices. You know, if you're not feeling good, you can go, oh, I remember someone saying this, I remember them saying that I could try this, you know, and you're giving power back to people, you know, instead of just going, there's antidepressants, go home, and good luck. And we can't do anything else other than that for you.
But Alison, you said when you were pregnant, you spent the whole time looking after this baby and making sure that your body was right for this baby. And then the baby arrives and you spent your life kind of, right, what's right for James? And nearly forgot about yourself?
Well, I've never been as healthy. I mean, like, I traveled the world modelling for years, and I'd be at parties and drinking, and then I got pregnant and I gave up smoking and drinking. I mean, I have never been as healthy in my life. And that's what you do when you're pregnant. You're looking after someone else. And then you have the baby, and all the focus goes from you, and you don't focus on yourself either. So you're probably not eating right, you're definitely not sleeping. And, you know, so all of these things. So, you know, we need to be a little bit, we need to go easy on ourselves. You know, you need to give yourself a break. Because when you're a new mom, it's, you know, give yourself time to be a new mom. Enjoy that time with your baby. Don't do the housework. Don't worry about anybody else. I'm a great believer, if you're going to visit someone with a baby, bring the food, be of assistance, help the person you're visiting. Don't have the tea made for you, make the tea. You know, my cousin was amazing, Rita. She used to come up when I was very sick. She used to drive up from Longford every day, and the washing would be done. She'd clean everything, and I was so sick I didn't really even notice this at the time, but she never asked me. She never gone, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Because I would have probably got defensive and went, no, you're trying to say to me that I can't do it? She did it. It was like a silent angel, and she was a huge part of my recovery. Because she just, things were done. I probably wouldn't have even noticed if they were done or not, because I was that sick. But you know, it's about kind of just going that step further, and people just giving a hand, and just enjoy it.
Nothing's gonna bring me down, oh, boys, the best of all. I've got my baby, oh, best of all. I've got my baby, she's mine and fine, and says she's all mine, and nothing's gonna bring me down, no. I've got my baby, oh, best of all. I've got my baby, she's mighty fine and says she's all mine, and nothing's gonna bring me down. Oh, she's mighty fine and says she's all mine, and nothing's gonna bring me down. She's mighty fine and says she's all mine, and nothing's gonna bring me down. What is it?